One day, I was watching the news with my wife. Once again, there was a news report about a fire caused by an electric vehicle at a charging station in an underground parking lot. According to the news, putting out fires in underground parking lots is difficult and dangerous, so the firefighters were shown quickly setting up portable water tanks above ground. The footage also showed them filling the tanks with water to extinguish the fire. While watching, my wife asked if those portable tanks were already available at the charging stations. I told her that it was likely equipment the firefighters brought with them. Then she said, "Wow, after setting up those portable tanks and putting out the fire, they have to dismantle everything again. Firefighters must have such a hard job." I replied, "Yeah, you'd think with time technology would advance to make things more convenient, but it seems like it's only getting harder." At that moment, I realized that my wife had identified a problem, and I started thinking deeply about whether there were any other issues like this. Soon, I noticed even more problems. For instance, during thermal runaway of electric vehicle batteries, the fire spreads rapidly, and the underground parking lot can quickly fill with smoke. This puts people at risk of suffocation, and it becomes very difficult to escape due to poor visibility. There's also the risk of the fire spreading to vehicles parked nearby the charging station. Nowadays, portable tanks and fire blankets are being used together for faster fire suppression, but there are still issues, such as the time needed to set up the equipment and the potential to miss the golden hour to control the fire. This is how I came to recognize the difficulties of extinguishing electric vehicle fires in underground parking lots. I thought deeply about the solution principle that could solve these problems. If there were firefighting equipment installed in the charging area, fires could be extinguished in the early stages, and this would ease the workload of the firefighters. But this is an idea that anyone could think of. So I wondered, if such a common solution exists but hasn't been implemented, there must be other underlying problems. I started by reconsidering whether installing fire suppression systems like sprinklers in the charging area would pose any issues. That's when I noticed problems I hadn't thought of before. First, from a business owner's perspective, the installation costs are very high. It's questionable whether a business owner would invest such a large amount of money just for fire suppression. Also, even if the system isn't used, it would still require regular cleaning and maintenance, which means additional maintenance costs. This would eat into the owner's profit margins. Considering that battery and charging technology is constantly advancing, it will continue to improve. It's also predicted that electric vehicle fires, like the ones we see today, will become less frequent as technology progresses. Despite the importance of safety, it's understandable that a business owner would find it difficult to invest in fire suppression systems that may have little practical use in the present. Once again, I thought hard. I asked myself if there was a way to install firefighting equipment while still increasing the owner's profit margins. I approached the problem from an effective angle, trying to find a solution that would both enhance the business owner's profits and increase the satisfaction of electric vehicle users. However, at that time, I couldn't come up with a solution that would deliver all these benefits. But that's okay. I believe that by continuing to try to solve problems, I'll gain experience-based knowledge, and someday, either through effort or chance, I'll find the solution to this problem. I usually go to gas stations to refuel my car. I also see the charging stations located in the underground parking lot of my apartment complex every day. One day, while looking at both the gas station and the charging stations, a thought came to me. People who drive internal combustion engine vehicles don't have fueling stations at their apartments, so they go to private fueling stations. These stations often have car wash facilities to attract customers, and they even offer discounts on car wash fees if you show the receipt from fueling up. As a result, I often use the automatic car wash when I visit petrol stations. On the other hand, people who drive electric vehicles don't frequently use private charging stations since they have charging facilities at their apartments, unless they're driving long distances. However, since the charging stations at apartments don't have car wash facilities, electric vehicle owners have the inconvenience of setting aside extra time to visit a car wash. This led me to wonder why apartment charging stations don't have car wash facilities. Perhaps it's because building a car wash requires extra space, and there's a common misconception that electricity and water can't coexist, making it difficult to build a car wash near a charging station. Then, suddenly, I remembered the situation from before. At that time, I had tried to find an effective solution that would increase the satisfaction of electric vehicle users and boost the profits of charging station operators by installing fire suppression systems, but I couldn't think of a way to improve the idea. But as I was identifying this new problem, at that moment, inspiration struck. That's it, fire suppression systems with a car wash function. Most people, myself included, think that water and electricity can't coexist. Scientifically, moisture and water reduce the skin's electrical resistance, and when current flows, it can cause electric shocks. But then I remembered seeing electric vehicles being charged on rainy days. Electric vehicles are designed to be water-resistant and are equipped to block rainwater, with safety measures like current interruption in place. This means that charging in the rain is completely safe. So, couldn't we also wash the car while it's charging? Based on the solution principle I came up with, I wanted to file a patent. However, the world is vast, and there could be others who have similar ideas. So, I decided it was necessary to verify this from a patent perspective, and I conducted a prior art search using a patent search website. I simply used 3 keywords: electric vehicle, fire suppression, and car wash. As a result of the prior art search, I found documents related to fire suppression systems at charging stations, but I didn't find any prior documents that combine fire suppression and car wash functions at charging stations. To summarize the solution's 3 elements, they are as follows. First, the system allows for the dual use of fire suppression as a car wash, which can enhance user satisfaction and increase the business owner's profit. Specifically, it offers users a premium multifunctional service for both safety and car washing. For business owners, it increases equipment efficiency, reduces installation and maintenance costs, and contributes to higher sales as the number of users grows. But it doesn't end there. It's not only beneficial for users and business owners, there are other beneficiaries. These include the construction companies that build the charging stations and the government that promotes eco-friendly electric vehicles. From a construction company's perspective, it presents a new business model that offers users a premium, multifunctional service, which can also enhance the company's brand value through this added benefit. The government, which has struggled to accelerate eco-friendly vehicle policies due to the issue of electric vehicle fires, could also gain momentum with this solution. Isn't it funny? When you think about it, the technology is actually quite simple, but it didn't exist before. I believe this is because the solution broke the stereotype that water and electricity can't coexist. But do you know why I was able to break this stereotype? It was because I approached the issue with a mindset of helping people, focusing on effectiveness. In other words, by considering both the business owner's perspective and the electric vehicle user's needs, I was able to come up with the solution principle. You may not yet fully understand why it's important to approach problems with a mindset focused on helping others when aiming for effective solutions. But eventually, you'll realize that every solution is ultimately about benefiting people. To be honest, there are 2 types of effects: those that benefit people and those that benefit objects. However, the effects on objects ultimately lead to benefits for people. Let's take the example from the earlier story. By using the fire suppression system at charging stations for car washing as well, we can improve the system's efficiency. Now, who benefits from this increased efficiency? Naturally, it's the owner of the charging station. Since the equipment's efficiency is improved, the owner can reduce installation and maintenance costs, and with more users, their revenue could increase. In the end, what benefits objects translates into benefits for people. Why do I emphasize this? I encourage you, whether it's related to patents or issues in your own life, to approach problems with a mindset focused on helping others, while keeping effectiveness in mind. There will be times when the problem involves both your own interests and those of others. In such cases, even though your own gain is important, try to care, just a little, for others besides yourself. You may find that, in the process, you'll end up gaining more than you originally expected. I want to share my experience with you, even if it takes time. I was in a hurry to get to work early to prepare some documents for an important meeting with a client, and I was very tired from drinking too much the night before. In my rush to get to the office, I changed lanes recklessly, cutting in front of another car, and ended up causing a minor collision with the rear bumper of the car in front. The other driver grabbed their neck suddenly, looking irritated and upset. I found myself in a very urgent situation where I needed to resolve the accident issue and also quickly prepare the documents for my client meeting. What would you do in such a situation? Would you suggest to the other driver to handle the insurance quickly because you need to get to the office to prepare your documents? Would you use your voice to suggest filing an insurance claim, exchange contact details with your business cards, and use your smartphone to report the accident to the insurance company? In other words, would you aim to resolve the insurance issue quickly using these methods and then hurry to work to finish your tasks? Of course, I could have done that too. But in that moment, I thought about how I should act with consideration for the other person. And then I realized what the other person was feeling: frustration and irritation from being in an accident. So, I decided to address that first. I slightly bowed my head, extended my hand, and said, "Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm truly sorry for causing the accident." I made a sincere effort to show that I was genuinely sorry. And I didn't even mention suggesting an insurance claim. You know what happened after that? I never heard from the other driver again. I believe that my sincere apology and human approach were the reason they didn't follow up on making an insurance claim. In other words, approaching the situation effectively by first calming the other person's frustration worked. This shows how, by approaching the issue with a mindset of helping others, I was able to find a simple and easy solution. On top of that, I also saved additional costs that would have come from processing the insurance claim. If I had only focused on my own benefit, I could have achieved some results. However, while personal gain is important, paying just a little attention to others beyond yourself can lead to unexpectedly greater outcomes. Wouldn't you like to experience the joy of finding solutions by approaching problems with a mindset of helping others too?